Morning, everyone. It's 10:01, and then we're here at Coldwell Banker Dynasty here in the Temple City. Beautiful city where we all work under this roof. We are an agency with a lot of heart and an agency that cares. And we welcome every single one of you because together we're better. So I'm going to go ahead and begin with a line that I have out here of the affiliates. I'm going to go ahead and call on Maria Howard. Maria Howard, you're up.
Yes. Hola, hola. How's everybody?
Doing great. How
Good,
are
good.
you, Maria? Good to see you.
Thank you, thank you. It's doing good. I'm finally feeling back in my rhythm. My husband is now wearing a soft boot, no more crutches, no more cane. I'm not so much housebound. I'm getting out more, so that is a good thing. Grandma chapter, love, love, love my grandson. Every day is a gift, and I just wake up in the morning and say, what can I do today that'll make someone smile and be better? So that's my mantra for the rest of this year. And I thank you for your support. I hope you continue using Over Public Home Protection. Just to let you know, in November, we will be launching a new report, and I'm so excited. We are making some great changes because we listened to our clients and what they were looking for. So we will have probably no price change on the Platinum for sure, and our trade call fee will be the same. But again, look for me for those new home warranty coverages for launching November 15th. Other than that, you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next we have Sage. Sage, you're up.
Hi everyone. My name is Sage Gomez with MyNHG, but I just wanted to talk about an app really quick. It's called Watch Duty, and you can input your address and you can see if your property is near any sort of SoCal fire that's happening right now. Again, it's called Watch Duty. It's been very helpful for me. I was prepared to evacuate last night, and a lot of people that I've talked to, they know someone that is prepared to evacuate. They have evacuated. So if you can share it, it's called Watch Duty. It is an app, and CAL FIRE does updates all the time. It shows all the fires in Southern California. Again, last time I'm going to say it, Watch Duty. If you guys need anything at all in regards to natural hazard disclosure, I'm always happy to help. Sage Gomez from MyNHG. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Sage. Appreciate it. Next, we have Nicole Menard. You're up, Nicole.
Good morning, everyone. Nicole Menard, Fidelity National Title. Happy to be here with all of you. Just a friendly reminder, you have a transaction in escrow. Please, 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 for your sellers, have them complete the statement of information. That's the second part of our title search to catch any liens that could appear against the name, including child support. If you have questions, let me know. Here to support you. Have a fantastic day. And thank you again for allowing us to be here. Nicole and Yvonne, Fidelity.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And next we have here is Nancy. Nancy, you're up.
Good morning, everybody. Nancy Chan, Lawyers Title. The wonderful affiliates here are here to support you. I've been in business 41 years. And if you have any title questions, you need help, let me know. Lawyers Title, Nancy Chan. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. And with those years, she stays current with everything new. So that's much appreciated. Now, going forward, we're going to continue with those of you that are here, and we're going to go with Scott. Scott, you're up.
Am I cool to share screens?
Yep, you can share screen. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to, so Scott Shimamoto, Journey Mortgage Advisors, we're a loan broker, meaning we have access to multiple lenders. But I just want to show everybody the trends right now in the rates are coming down. And what this chart shows is what they call a mortgage-backed security. There's a couple of indicators we look at to know, it's not just, sometimes you have to know when to lock and when to float. And depending on the escrow, sometimes we want to lock right away and to protect the client because we feel like rates have a chance to go up, or sometimes we want to float because if we can float, then sometimes, we can start the escrow and the rates could be at X, and then like 5 days in, it might be X minus something. And then if that is true, then we can lock the rate later and get the client a better rate, or like I said, protect them. But right now we're in a place where the higher this number is, the lower the rates. So you can see this trend from, this is June 17th. You probably can't see that, but up till now. And we're looking good. The Fed is looks like they're gonna lower the rate that affects the prime rate. And that will be, we're thinking next week. And that's a signal that inflation is coming down, and inflation is the enemy of mortgage rates. So this is really all good signs. Bottom line is, if you're a buyer right now, you want to buy when, this is a good time to buy. Because if the rates are a little bit higher, it kind of holds the prices down. And later we're going to probably even get better rates here in the next 18 to 24 months. So just want to let you know that part of my service is to advise my clients of when to lock the rate. So just letting you guys know that. And I'd love to help you guys with your pre-approvals and help you get to the finish line. Again, we're a broker, so we have access to multiple lenders. It's like playing poker with wild cards. All right, thanks.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Scott. Does that conclude your report?
I'm done.
Okay, done as in donezo. Next here is John. John, you're up.
Good morning, Sylvia and Kelvin. Thank you for allowing us to be here on your wonderful sales meeting. I'm John Wax with Snap NHD. I've been in the business over 30 years, bringing you experience and helping you guide your clients to make one of the most important decisions and highest investments of their lives, and making sure they know exactly what's going on with their properties. We're the only ones with the free renters report for your leases. And I do want to advertise that contact me and I will check to see if a property is in a fire zone or flood zone or any of those zones, to make sure that your clients make a very informed decision in material facts like that. I am advertising. I have a class coming up tomorrow at noon. I'm bringing pizza, and I need you to check in with Joy, please, and register. We're going to do the ins and outs of the NHD report, how the NHD report protects your transaction, and a bunch of other things. So please, you don't want to miss it. Just get a head count so I know how much pizza to bring. And I'm here for you guys. I'm here to consult with you, your clients, and anyone who needs advice regarding natural hazard disclosures. And I thank you so much. And on with the meeting. I might have to drop off because I got a bunch of other things I have to do today, but thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you very much. Next here I see is Tracy. Tracy, you're up. Unmute yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, good morning, Sylvia. Good morning, Kelvin. Thank you for having us at this meeting. I'm glad to be back again. 2 weeks ago, I was at the office and I shared that we are looking at interest rate to be below 6%. And that's exactly we are today. Today's rate is around 5.625 for 30-year fixed mortgage rate. And I think for right now, I have a lot of past clients asking me if it is a good time to buy, if they wanted to wait until the interest rate is going down for purchase. I think it's a great time right now, because once we all know that the Fed expect to lower the benchmark rate again, that means for the long-term rate, it will go down a little bit more probably by the end of this year. However, when the rate goes down even more, the competition gonna be even more fierce. On the other hand, besides the 30-year fixed rate, our private lending, private bridge loan rate is going down as well. Right now, we're looking at about 9.99. I just opened 2 new bridge loan purchase file yesterday because the inventory is still low. So if your client is having trouble making offer, getting accepted, it's a great way. Both of my file opened yesterday for the bridge loan. They only need the money for 3 to 6 months. So we gave them 12 months term. However, they plan to pay it off within 3 to 6 months. So that is an awesome tool when your client is facing a lot of competition since the inventory is still low. And when interest rate goes down, there are gonna be more buyers going into the market. Thank you for having me. That's it for today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Next who I have here is Angie Tang. You're up, Angie.
You. Good morning, everyone. Angie Tang, First American Title. Wanted to talk about 433As. I had 2 properties over the weekend where clients are calling me, hey, Angie, I don't know how to find this out. Do you know if there's a 433A, if they could sell the mobile house or a manufactured house? So the only way to sell the manufactured house and the mobile house is if there was a 433A recorded on the property. So if you're not sure how to find that, all you have to do is give me a call. I'll find out for you. And then we could proceed with escrow. So sometimes with a 433A, if it's not recorded on the property, then they can apply for one with the city, but it does take a little bit of time to get that done so that you can actually sell it as a property. But be aware that once you do that, you do have all the rest of the things that go with owning a home. So it's not just a mobile home anymore, like like you would go through a DMV. So any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Angie Tang, First American Title. Thanks.
Just so you
Great,
guys,
thank you very
just to interrupt real quick, a 433A is when you have a foundation recorded under your manufactured home. And if you get to sell it like a title, but don't forget, like she's saying, negative things, there's property tax associated with it as well. But anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks for clarifying that, Kelvin. I was just going to ask you, Angie. Got it. Anything triggers, any changes you make can trigger something.
Anything trigger it.
Thank you. So I'm looking here to see if we have any other affiliates. I don't see anyone. If I'm not missing anyone, going once, going twice. I don't have anyone else out here. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to continue now. There is a slide in here for the quote of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pull up the slides. Go ahead and just talk for a second.
Okay, I'm going to talk for a second. So I'm not going to, I know that Kelvin has this coming up on his session, but those of you that are on WeChat, I went ahead and shared some photos with all of you in regards to, we all know what today is. Today's a huge Remembrance Day. And for all of you who had any family members or friends, we hold a moment of silence here for 2 seconds. Great. Thank you for that. I remember exactly what I was doing with my 10-year-old early at that hour, getting him ready for school, and watching the second plane come into the second tower is just like it happened yesterday. So it's definitely something that we will continue to grieve, and it has changed our world, just like COVID, into the new world. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now for management updates and the quote. So this one here, I'm sure you've all heard of it, which is the 3 C's, the 3 C's of life: the choices, the chances, and the changes. You must take the choice to take the chance. And if you want anything in life to change, you must do the change. So it's by Zig Ziglar. This is pretty self-explanatory. The word common sense has been kind of tossed around a lot lately, but I know that common sense, when I ran a hospital, human resource department, common sense came at a high price. Common sense came at a high price on a slip and fall. Common sense came at a high price when somebody lost their life on a boiler. Common sense just is not common sense anymore to a lot of people. So let's just be mindful of what common sense is, because that's a C word too. So I wanted to toss a C letter in there in that beautiful quote, that let's be mindful of what common sense is. And a common sense to Scott may not be my common sense or Tracy's common sense. It could be mine and Kelvin's, and maybe not. Mine and Mark's, or maybe not. So let's help each other, because together we are what? Better. Together we are better. So I wanted to share that with you. Along with that, as part of my slides, I don't have a slide here. I did not submit a slide for this. I wasn't sure if it was going to be appropriate or not, but I came, oh, here, let's do the birthdays. For everyone that has a birthday in September, we wish you all a happy birthday. It's a fall season now with summer weather. And for all you September babies, for all of you that are very boisterous about your birthdays, and for all of you that are very shy about your birthdays, we want to wish you a great birthday. One of those is Joy, and she's still celebrating her gifts out there. She's a very joyful person. So happy birthday to all of you. With
Brady's
that,
birthday is Brady's turning 5.
Oh, and Brady's turning 5. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's already 5 years old.
Happy birthday.
Calvin, am I gonna be one of those persons that's gonna say, I remember Calvin, I remember, like they say about you, I remember Calvin when he was so young, walking around the hallways like Nancy. Now I'm gonna be one of those persons saying, I remember Brady being a little kid, and I'm probably gonna be walking around here with a cane or something, because I don't plan on going anywhere. I love you guys. But let me share something else exciting that's coming. So I got the blessing from Kelvin, from Mark and I, as Red Cross trainers and ambassadors. There's no longer an ambassador title after COVID with the Red Cross, but I'm a trainer's trainer, and I'm gonna have my trainer here. And we are hosting an event. It's not a real estate event, but it is under our umbrella here at our building in the education hub in the back. And we're gonna have a division fire chief here. There's one of my fire chiefs going through the CERT program. And we're going to have the trainer's trainer from the Red Cross. She's on the board for the Red Cross. And we're going to have it sponsored by El Pavo Bakery by Karina. And she's going to bring all the pastries here. Now, this is going to be totally an RSVP event. This is not one of those events where you can just show up. You need to RSVP with me directly. I prefer that you text me on my cell. And because there's going to be material, limited material only for those that RSVP. And material is going to make a significant difference in your attendance. Bring your mom, bring your dad, bring your neighbor, bring anybody you want. It's extremely important. It's a readiness preparedness program that is going to teach you how to come together in a situation of disaster and how to be proactive, not reactive, on how to prepare in case of any type of a situation. You want to be mindful of where your gas valve is and where your water valve is. You also want to bring a working cell phone with you. And I know for realtors, that's not a problem, but bring that with you, and it's all going to take a role in the class. It's going to be an hour-and-a-half class. So be prepared for that, and be ready. I'll bring my own personal backpack that I have ready next to my bed with the essentials that are needed in case of a disaster. I'll give you an example. We can never be too prepared. I was outside doing volunteer work at an event at Tournament of Roses, and the ashes are heavy. I didn't prepare by putting on goggles. My dry eye turned into a severe allergy, and I had bloody red eyes. Then I was out there for 5 hours breathing this air without a mask, so I constantly had to be washing my mouth out, which I should have put on. But we have a certain code of conduct and how we are to present ourselves to the public. So I didn't do any of that, and I had outdoor duty. So Mark and I have a special skill set above and beyond that they put us in those positions to be on the alert for certain types of threats to the building. And unfortunately, there is a restraining order on a member. And luckily, Mark was the one that actually caught the person and on the premises, and we were able to, contact PD on a valid restraining order. So things like that. We just have to be mindful that things are happening anywhere. Now on a more kind of fun topic, part of our message here is pickleball courts. How many of you are aware of pickleball courts and what pickleball courts are, what's happening in real estate with pickleball courts? So I want to share with you some information. So there's a disagreement about whether the sports craze is a benefit for home sales, with some saying that the noise hurts property values. Okay, now this is a topic even in my city at city council level. pickleball appears to be setting off a love-hate relationship in real estate. Some prospective home buyers favor properties near pickleball courts, and the game's popularity has spawned a pickleball gold rush in commercial real estate. Even so, backslash is brewing among some homeowners who live next to courts, complaining that the constant popping noise of a wooden paddle hitting a wiffle ball makes it impossible to enjoy their backyard or sell their home. So the issue has even sparked lawsuits. In one case in Massachusetts, a couple is blaming the constant racket from the pickleball courts bordering their backyard for hampering the sale of their $1 million home over the last 8 months. So I'm sharing this with you because more and more lawsuits are coming up with this situation. So when you're out there, just disclose if there's a pickleball court or not a pickleball court or et cetera. Don't get into the legal minutia of all this. And I'm sure Kelvin will piggyback on all of this as well. But I just wanted to share something a little bit different to deviate from everything that's going on with some of our family members in itself. Somebody asked if the fire is really that close to my son's home. And this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it. That's what it looks like.
It looks like doomsday.
Exactly, like doomsday, like hell just opened up. But let me share that because he's in the fire grid of this fire, now Southern Edison can shut off their gas. So part of that is they need to be evacuating. And he works in the ER and they're flooded being called on overtime. And my daughter-in-law works in the burn unit, neonatal burn unit, and they're extremely busy in the neonatal burn unit as well. I'm going to end with this. Can someone tell me what is the #1 negligent accident on an infant or a child being burned? What is the #1 negligent act? What would you think it's coming from a parent, a grandparent, or anyone? What is a negligent act? How do you think these infants or these children, these toddlers are getting burned? I'll tell you. Or Kelvin, do you have an answer? It looks like you may toss something out.
Well, if there is a fire going on and you're being negligent, you got to cover your baby with a blanket, probably. And cover.
Okay, so you're focusing on the fire. There's no wrong answer here. Absolutely, I would cover my baby because of what you said with a wet blanket.
Yep.
Yeah, wet blanket. So no, you know what it is? Coffee. Going to Starbucks, going to McDonald's, walking with your lattes, your hot lattes and this and that. It's a status thing. I get it. It looks good. Or just holding your coffee with no lid. Most of these children, most of these toddlers, most of these infants are coming with severe burns, especially infants with their tender skin because of coffee. So
yeah, it happened to me. My kid was shaking my leg when I'm holding a cup of coffee and he didn't get burned. I got burned. Burned my hand.
Well, you and Mark can share your burns. He's got a huge scar on his hand, not because of coffee, but there you go. Sorry you have a cocoa, but thank you. And with that said, thank you for the opportunity to allow me to go ahead and share some insight and some information. I hope that you all stay hydrated and cover your mouth for any allergies. Wear goggles if you have to, protect your eyes and protect yourself. Thank you. And back to our infamous broker, which I'm very proud to serve under. Back to Kelvin Chang, you're up.
Yeah, Sage just mentioned this cool website called Watch Duty. I'm just going to share it real quick because it is all over the news. That look at Southern California. Obviously, you can go back and you can see fires all throughout the state of California. But really focusing in our local area, we have the Bridge Fire going on, where our areas near, you have, for example, the Line Fire near Upland and Redlands. So these are all near and dear, especially right here. This is kind of close to Bradbury. And then you have down here where Sylvia's son is near Irvine, Orange County, and Lake Forest area.
Yeah.
So these areas designate quarantine evacuation zones. So if you live in this area, you're going to be evacuated. Your house is vulnerable to threats. And that is why we have high cost of fire insurance policies in California rising, is because these fires are annual seasonal things that are going to occur every single year. So hopefully you are doing your part as a homeowner, and your clients are aware when you're selling real estate that if you are near a fire zone, you have fire prevention duties in your home ownership to prevent fire. And you can always get a CAL FIRE representative or the fire department to let you know what are your threats and vulnerable areas and overgrown shrubs and trees and branches too close to your structure, having some sort of a safeguard zone and flame retardant materials on your roof and or windows, for example. Those are all areas of where you can improve your home / prevent fires in your neighborhood. And we all know there's that one house down the street that always lets things grow so high and is a nuisance to the community. And as homeowners and residents, make them alert and aware that they're causing the neighborhood to be more dangerous too. So that's just letting you know where that is. And let me go back into our slides. So good morning, everyone, and happy birthday to all you September babies. 9/11 was, wow, just 23 years ago. I just want to remember it since that's today, and all the losses and all the heroes that we had during that tragic event. In the news for real estate, this is the biggest event for CAR. It is the Reimagine Expo, free for all realtors, and it's September 24th to 26th. The 24th is the pre-conference day where there's some additional events. And I want to register and remind you, it's free to attend. There's a whole bunch of vendors to learn about the tools, technology. I bet you AI will be a lot of different things that you can learn about at the booths, and obviously the whole lineup of speakers and schedule. So why would you want to attend? Well, there's new business practices going on this year that everyone's going to be talking about regarding adapting to the new NAR implemented settlement rules. And so I looked at the seminar speakers and the topics, and I can tell you many of them are kind of giving guidance, and top producer panels are talking about what they're doing to implement changes and how they're asking their buyers to sign that BRBC form. And if you want to hear from state top producers all around the area, you can really show your worth and hopefully learn a little tidbit here or there to improve your own professionalism, to improve your script, to improve your presentation skills, and maybe you have a great phrase on how you're going to hold open houses, for example. I attended a session yesterday where a broker was telling me about open houses, and don't forget, we're supposed to be requesting clients to sign in the open house sign-in sheet, and it's a non-agency sign-in sheet, so it shouldn't be threatened. And so the example that they demonstrated was, hi, everyone, welcome to 1234 Main Street. I'm the listing agent for the property. Happy to have you and host you for the tour of the property. However, I am not your agent. Okay, here, please sign in. This also affirms that I am not your agent. This is just a registration form, a seller request for all visitors who are entering their property to please kindly acknowledge. And you can also have a place if you want to designate who your realtor is over here. And I'm not your agent again, but I'll be happy to let you know it's 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,500 square feet, and a lovely place to live. So you're and then after they walk through and after they've toured the property or they have questions, then if they wish to engage in questions with you in a conversation about the property and negotiability, or what's the bottom line, why is the seller moving? These are all the common questions the buyers are going to ask. Then you can say, oh, that's something you're going to either you have to ask it to your agent, or if you want me to be your agent, I'd be happy to go through a BRBC form and have this signed with you. just for this one property. I do not need to be your exclusive agent for all properties, but for this property, I'll be happy to engage in your conversations, answer all your questions immediately. But I can only consult because once I start answering questions, I am producing and what's called implied agency. And if you all know, when you took your real estate exam, there's an implied agency when you're answering questions about pricing or details about the property history or motivation, terms of the offer that's included or not included. These are all negotiable things where the buyer may assume that you're giving implied agency without providing an agency consent form, a disclosure. So those are all areas to be mindful of when you're doing open house and not giving implied agency when you're not their agent. But if they want your services, then talk about it. Ask them to go through that. You don't have to do it on the spot. For those who are struggling to get the buyer or the unrepresented buyer to visit and sign your sign-in sheet, there's another form, and that's the property showing visitor form. And so that's where you can allow them to walk through. They sign the form. It also says you're not their agent, but it does not, but you're not supposed to be giving any advice or conversation about the property with them. They're just simply walking through, and you kind of you can observe, but you're not supposed to be touring the property and giving them all the background. So there's both forms are acceptable by CAR as allowable ways to conduct your open houses as a listing agent. Any questions?
No questions. I would just like to share that I did have a situation where somebody walked in. I did exactly what you said. She's a neighbor, says this house has been for sale 2 times. I had to educate her on the new difference in today. She says, no, I have an agent. Great. Do you have signed BRBC with them? No. Okay, can you just sign here, please? And then state that you do not have one. Sure, no problem. She walked in, came back, wanted specific details about the property. So I explained exactly what you said, Kelvin.
Yeah.
And at that point, her and her husband made a decision to sign the BRBC for a 3-month with us. So it really is how we deliver our message, how if we come across like we're professionals and we really want to help them, is one way. But if we're going to look like, oh my God, I need you as a client, I need to get paid. If you come across desperate, they're not going to sign it.
They're not going to sign it. And obviously they have questions. So when they have questions and they want immediate answers because of the internet today, everyone wants immediate understanding, immediate quick. Alexa, what's the blah, 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 blah. And then they get the answers to the internet answers, or they have AI giving them, spitting them out really useful stuff to get what's called, and now it's causing people to have short attention spans. Children today have short attention spans as well. They have, they're just bouncing around here. There's so much information, just data and perception all over, just grabbing our attention because marketing is so crazy nowadays. It's being unconsciously forced down us when we see any advertisement or commercial, or even just walking down those billboards and there's people's cars have advertisements everywhere. This is all taking and grabbing our attention and our children from understanding and focusing. But since we're on the topic of open house, there was one slide that I think is important that I wanted to go through with you guys, because I just want to bounce. I want to go through it real quick. Where's my slides? Did I save it?
While you're doing that, Kelvin, when you're done, there's something that is very crucial that I have a note here that I do need to mention.
Okay, I didn't have that slide there. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, no, it's something that actually came up. I was on a case, not revealing any confidentiality regarding a case, but I do want to mention that right now, signs that are being put up, yard signs that are being put up at the property, it's very important that you have a signed listing agreement before you have your yard sign delivered, or you personally delivering it to your quote unquote friend's house that is the seller that is going to do the favor of putting the sign up for you. Regardless of that, at the end of the day, you are responsible. If your client puts the sign up, you are responsible for any violations at all if that's put up without you having that signed listing agreement. Example, my seller wanted to sign it in person. They wanted me to sit with them. DocuSign didn't work. It doesn't matter what excuses you have under the sky. You are responsible for any violations if a sign goes up before you have that signed listing agreement. And you will be fined. The broker will be fined, and the manager can be fined and be penalized to having an education class. So we are going to be a little bit more, we're going to be tightening the belt a little bit more here at the office with a policy and making sure we don't have that problem here. And I don't want to have that problem here, neither does Kelvin or Mark, Mary, or anybody. But we need to make sure that some of you have a relationship with Kelvin. You go with Kelvin and you set something up. You need to seal the gap by going to the front desk, going to Joy, and making sure that there is no misunderstandings. Sometimes if you have a property out in the boonies somewhere and you want to go and put your sign up first before you get the agreement signed because of whatever your schedule is going to look like, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Thank you, Kelvin.
Not a problem. So yes, just to piggyback on that, but signs definitely you have, because that is marketing. Whether you put it up or whether your friend posts something for you or social media or on the yard, that's marketing. And if it has your name and the company name on it, you do need a listing agreement because you have to have authority or an agreement to go ahead and market the property. And then once you do have a listing agreement, and let's just say it's coming soon, or I signed it where it's, October 15 is when we're going to list it a month from now. Well, guess what? You still should register that listing with the MLS so you avoid the MLS even trying to ask you when there's a complaint that you have a sign up and they go, nope, this agent registered it. So you could really just avoid any complaints or potential people who are just what you call enforcers of the MLS and enforcers of the industry by doing what's in compliance and registering your listing that may be coming in a month or 3 months away or 2 weeks away. You're supposed to list your property within 3 days of your listing date beginning or from the last signature of the executed listing agreement. So put your listings in within compliance, avoid your fines. Let's talk about training. Let's learn about tomorrow. We have debt management, how to improve your cash flow with David Sanapure, a licensed Series 7 or Series 10 professional who is going to teach us about finance and a little bit about money management, and who wants, as we have what's called all this inflation going on and hopefully better interest rates going through, let's learn how to use our money for us. So I hope you come support us and learn at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And on Thursday, the following week, we have the dangers of the dark web with Josh Fisher. He's an expert in phishing, scammers, wire fraud, and different internet types of threats and vulnerabilities where scam artists are taking advantage of a lot of people who are unfamiliar. They open their inbox and they go, oh, you have a purchase from PayPal or from this and that, Venmo, or from Amazon, and they get all of these, enter your information and log in if this is not you, or blah, 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 get your free credit report or free gift card or something. And then they suddenly gave their password and information and birthday or whatever sensitive information to the threat. Do not let yourself be a threat. Government and very important companies rarely ever will call you. Everything should be done either through written form or mail. So be cautious. Don't be a sucker, and just be mindful. Watch who the sender is. Verify it if it's a valid source or not. NHD and why do you need it? This is John Wax class on 9/12, 12 p.m. tomorrow. How to protect your transaction with the NHD report. So that will have lunch. So we'll have that John Wax here and really talking to us about how this is going to help your transactions go smoothly and protect it. Mid-Autumn Festival is coming up. This is a nice little afternoon tea where at the AAR they're having a little session and refreshments, as well as feng shui consultant Alex Z, who can teach a little bit about feng shui. Nice little class. Tips for the new Autumn Festival. We got Smoke and Jack, an E4C charity event, September 19th. It's a ticketed event, and you get some drinks and cigars and have some fun with the other networking people. We have expert tips on closing escrow from escrow officer Kitty Ip. And this is in person, live at the AAR building. There's a zip forms class. Brian Chen is teaching a hybrid class on zip forms at West San Gabriel Valley. And we have hidden listings for reverse mortgages and ways you can get some extra listings from maybe seniors or others who really want to tap into their equity. So learn about that. There's a CRMLS virtual training. Obviously, you get your 45-hour free continuing education with the board of realtors and CAR. And just want to talk a little bit about the headlines. So besides the fire headlines, burning up, forests and acres of property all throughout our high fire zones, the headlines also show that the Dow Jones and stocks, a lot of them have responded negatively, and to maybe they're hoping for very aggressive Fed rate cuts, but it might be more modest or slim rate cuts next week. So there is a sell-off going on. So that's causing a lot of those who have portfolios, they probably lost a little bit on today's news. And looking at what our lenders today, Tracy and Scott mentioned, that the inflation rate is finally keeping in check. This is from the most recent August data, and it does show the inflation mark around 2.5%, which is very, very our target. That was the target to get to. You can see we were in an extremely high inflation period for the last couple of years. And according to this chart, and I got this from the New York Times, and this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this chart. So that's a little nice breath of relief. We can see gas prices kind of being more reasonable and cooled off recently at the pump. And hopefully that will respond well in our own GDP and American economy. Moxie classes are always available. I know there's a bunch of different classes available to you this coming week. If you want to learn about Moxie Impress and powerful marketing, you can sign up for these classes Pacific time at 8 a.m. There's email marketing. If you want to use Moxie Engage, it's a CRM system for all of our realtors, free for you as a Coldwell Banker agent of ours. And a free benefit, you get Winning with Buyers. This is one of the newer classes, how to really leverage yourself, explain your services, and get them to sign your buyer representation agreement. Live classes available to you every single week at Coldwell Banker University. We have Moxie Engage and Real Vitalize. And when you see a 201 class, that's the intermediate class. 101 is the beginner's class, and they're just going to have this series because I know you're going to enjoy it once you attend. And so they'll have an advanced class as well. That would probably be called the 301 class. Obviously, check every week or month at your MyCB Desk platform and get access for all of these free classes at the university. The market update for this week says the Fed's meeting next week to discuss this and set the new federal funds target rate. And the recent economic data does show that our economy is strong. Unemployment is pretty low. And the market remains to be pretty optimistic that things are finally, hopefully, showing improvement when the rates hopefully translate and correlate with the Fed funds reduction. That should improve purchasing conditions for buyers. It should improve that more buyers can now have more borrowing power. and therefore they can buy at slightly higher price points. They can borrow slightly a little bit more loan amount with the same amount of dip down payment that they had just say for 1 month ago when it was rate 7%. Therefore, as more buyers have improved capabilities to purchase, this should allow them to write a little bit more aggressive offers, maybe write another $10,000 above what they were thinking about on the price. Because the borrowing, when you rate and drop it a 0.5%, for example, you definitely get a lot more savings over 30 years. You can write a 10,000 extra more on your purchase price to be able to afford that home, and it'll still have the same monthly payment that you were expecting just from a month ago at a higher rate. So consider those factors. I like to express things at the monthly payment because that's a little bit more digestible to the borrower. And they go, wow, yeah, raise it, maybe there's 6 other offers, buyer. Maybe we shouldn't go 20,000 above the asking price. I think that's a good starting point. If you were to ask me, where should we respond? So when you explain a $20,000 more, and then I break it down by payments, it's only going to be maybe, depending on the loan amount, but it might only be about $45 more in their monthly payment. Okay. So would you like to get this house? Go with my recommendation, and your monthly payment is only $45 more as opposed to where you wanted to go right at that asking price, buyer, but we risk not getting the property. If you really love the property, it's a 9 out of 10 for you and your spouse. Please, I encourage you to write a little bit better on your offer so that way we get looked at and considered strongly. Don't forget, buyer, when the rates, oh, but Kelvin, I'm hearing the rates are going to drop in next year, 2025. I agree. I heard that same news. And so do 95% of the other buyers that are going to hear that same news. And when it does drop a 0.5 point or a full whole point from where it is today, do you know that the rest of the buyers, and you're going to have a lot more competition purchasing that home? And it's very tough to get a great deal when you have a lot of offers, competition, 10, 20 offers on the table. The seller gets to pick and choose the best offers, the ones with their cash, the ones that have high down payment, like 40 or 50% down. The seller has a lot of options and 10, 12 different offers at their hand. Why do you think they're going to choose you when you are not so aggressive? So if you want to be getting a great deal on the price, it's better to shop before the rates get really cut, because you can just hold the property for 6 months and refinance that property if you wanted to when the rates improve, but you've already locked in your price. A very nice phrase I heard from Scott. I'm gonna give him the credit. You marry the purchase price if it's a property that you love. You date the rate. That rate, even though you feel it's high at 6.25 today, guess what? You're only dating it for 6 more months or 9 more months or 1 year. And then when you see the rates drop to another point and comes down to 5.5 or 5.25, maybe a year from now, all right. Okay. End your relationship with that 6.25 or 6.5%. Find a new one, find a better rate, get a new loan and refinance that property. And that's where you've already locked in your price, guys. So that's my suggestion. And the 2 quick guides I wanted to cover was rentals. And this one was important for those of you who are doing leasing activity. Don't forget, and a reminder, the NAR settlement does not apply to leases or rentals. It did apply to residential properties 1 to 4 units, but the MLS, which is CRMLS, they removed all offers of compensation, no matter if it's a leasing, commercial property, or a residential 1 to 4 unit. No BAC field is allowed on the MLS, but you can still advertise a commission to a tenant's brokerage. You can put it on your flyer. You can put it on your off MLS marketing. You can advertise it in your word of mouth or your social media. You can just pick up the phone and when they talk to you, explain, yes, we're allocating 2.5 apples if you would like to go ahead and supply us an application and secure a lease. So yes, you are allowed. If you're a tenant representative and you're representing them and finding and shopping and scheduling showings, you do not use the BRBC form. You will be using the tenant representative broker compensation form, TRBC. Very similar, but in this instance, you use that form. It's for tenants only. And yes, tenant representatives can still request a housing provider. So if you're a tenant agent, when you submit an application, along with your application, go ahead and submit your LCA form, lease rental commission agreement form. And that's how you request for commission compensation from the listing side or the landlord side. And that form is how you secure and get it signed for your commission, what your expectation are. And this should be done before you sign your or simultaneously to your signing of a month-to-month residential lease contract. So, any questions on leasing activity and forms? So I do see 20% of the rentals in San Gabriel Valley do still write in the private remarks a concession commission to the buyer's broker. Technically, I don't think the MLS has the ability to fine you if you do it for a rental. Okay? So that's where people are going away with the removed BAC field. They're just handwriting it in private remarks, or they're asking, please call listing broker for compensation. If it's a rental, you can write that and or concessions to the tenant. So therefore, just be mindful if that's what you're doing and you're trying to, but to me, the best way is always just have a conversation. What I'm hearing from the CAR side, and you're probably going to hear it at Reimagine, because the broker manager meeting I attended yesterday, everyone's just saying, teach your agents to utilize your phone. Pick up the phone, call the listing agent and ask them, is there any offers for compensation that you're willing to entertain from the seller and or concessions to the buyer if we to supply you, for example, near your full price. So ask the question, pick it up, and that's how you negotiate. Okay. You could email them too. Some might say they're too busy, so email them if they're not answering your call. Okay. So that's every agent has a code of ethics duty to communicate to other agents. So if they ask you and they don't answer your email, then just ask them again, 2 or 3 times, and hopefully they'll respond back. Maybe they missed it. All right. So any questions on this form? Quick guide. Well, the other alternative is for you buyer agents. If you're a buyer broker agent, you are gonna attach your SPBB form and check the box 3G3. Once you check it, it automatically attaches this form at the end of your purchase bundle, RPA bundle. And the seller has to review this with their offers to purchase. To me, it kind of makes sense because I still get questions from you guys regarding commission, or can I request it, or can I counter it out? Because this is a term of the purchase contract, yes, sellers and buyers can negotiate the terms, and one of the terms is compensation to a buyer's broker and or whether the seller will offer concessions to the buyer, closing costs. So either way, whichever way you're structuring your deal, please use the appropriate form and understand that, yes, a seller can legally say, let's say you're asking for 2.5 chimichangas. Well, guess what? They can counter you back that, no, I only want to supply you 2 chimichangas, not 2.5. They can say 1 chimichanga. Go ahead. All right. Because at the end of the day, it's a term that has to be reviewed at the overall terms and your offer. And guess what? When a seller has multiple offers, they have a little bit more leverage to counter these out. If they have, you're the only offer on the table, you could stick firm and say, I want my 2.5 chimichangas, take it or leave it, counter them back. Okay. It's very, it's negotiable. And if they don't want to give it up, okay, fine. We'll accept the 1 chimichanga you are offering. Our offer now is going to be this. And your buyer is going to make it up to you in your BRBC form. Okay. And you can re-sign a new BRBC form because this specific property has now changed. So when you're signing your buyer counteroffer and you're going to reduce your price by 10,000, so that way you can supply yourself the remaining amount of commission that the seller's unwilling to pay, go ahead and reflect it in your offer and say, fine, we agree to your term. Here's our new offer with our BCO and our revised acceptance of your 1%. 1 chimichanga. I'm sorry, guys. So that's it. Okay. It's a negotiable term. You guys and agents got to communicate. Those of you who are listing agents, explain to your sellers that this is all on the table. It's a negotiable term. Sure, we have more leverage when we have more offers, and when we're weak, we should just find a reasonable compensation and agree and explain to the other party that, you know, this is your client. I'm only here to negotiate my rate. We are not, you know, but we can consider concessions. We can consider payments to a buyer's broker case by case, depending on the overall terms and conditions of every offer. Since it's negotiable term, if I have 5 offers on my listing, I could counter the 2 cash buyers who I really hope to work with and agree to their 2.5 chimichangas because I want them to hopefully purchase. And then those that are financed or those that are FHA, my multiple counteroffer can stipulate that the FHA buyers, I'm only going to give them 1 chimichanga or 1.5 chimichangas or whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's a allowable thing to give different types of counteroffers based on the overall terms. If your seller has a preference towards cash, you can incentivize the cash with a better concession to that buyer or an improved acceptance of their SPBB. Make sense?
Yes.
You do not have to have the same multiple counteroffer to every single person. Everyone has their own individual write-ups and checkboxes how they asked for the offer. It's not a lot of work for me to write 5 separate multiple counteroffers for every 5 buyer. Is it more work? Yes. Is it hard work? No. So if you want to learn or you like the way I teach, I continue to do Kelvin's Keys to Success, 2 o'clock, and you're welcome to join me on Zoom. I'll have periodically every quarter, there's been an ask for me to do something live. I'll do my part. I'll have a few quarterly live events where I'll teach. The last one was very well attended, and a lot of you like to hear the way I presented the BRBC and the listing side and how to fill out the forms.
And Kelvin, I just want to interrupt you for a second. I just want to share to what you're saying. Your class went over 3.5 hours. It was actually 3.5-hour class, which was very well heated, engaged class. And you did such a great job that everyone here was just very, I mean, I was on overload. My brain was already fried, but I still wanted to hear it because it was just, it's information that we need to know and we need to have, but not just know it and learn it, but practice it. Practice it. So I can encourage so many of you to practice it here. Practice it with me.
Yeah.
Practice it with everybody.
Practice is so important. Like so many people are struggling to e-sign or attach the forms or how to fill it out because they're doing it under a sense of urgency because the offer deadline is due tomorrow.
Yes.
You don't need to practice the day you have to write a very important offer for your client. You can do these things and steps and learn it and understand that the steps haven't really changed too much. It's just a couple extra check boxes. Fill out the new listing, fill out the new purchase, practice it today, and send it to your spouse, yourself, your dummy secondary email in which you're seeing how the client experiences it and seeing how they have to check the boxes. If you're asking them to do a TDS or an SPQ disclosure, you get to experience it as if you're a seller and typing it all in and see if that's frustrating or easy to you. And then you can explain it over the phone when they ask you, I don't know how to fill out the explanation portion. You can coach them easily after you've experienced it yourself. So
Yeah.
when you're under a sense of urgency or a deadline, you can't absorb information that well. So that's why I always practice writing a form and attaching this document and
Yeah.
uploading it in and placing manually signatures in the areas of the PDF that I had to upload because the seller's agent gave it to me in 4 different PDFs. So I have to upload 4 different documents and blah, 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 manually do it. But now I can do it in my sleep, okay? Because I've done it a few times. And when he talks about learning, if I have it was about a 2 or 2.5 hour class, and I don't expect you to absorb 100% of my training content. But if you can that's why it's on video. So you can come back to it and you can focus on the area. The first part was on listing, second part was for buyers. And then if you are slower to learn and need more examples, or you need to see the form in front of you, then that's why I already told you, learn from multiple people, not just me. We had Nikki Copa. Copa had her class on the forms, and she was displaying every single paragraph in front of you, and maybe you absorb it better from her, or you learn it from me, or you go to the CAR resources or the legal webinar, their legal recordings at CAR, the attorney speaking. Maybe you like to hear from an attorney because they talk fast, but at the same time, they're very detailed too. And hearing it 3 times, then it starts to make sense and things start to click. And then you hear from a wide array of resources available to you for free. And boom, now you're an expert. Now you know how to explain and consult your client, present the information, and get people to sign your BRBC form because it's an industry requirement now. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the new standard sales checklist is on the Dynasty Agent Resources, uploaded along with the sales meeting slides. If you would like a link and you wanted to go to something, you can always check it and download or view using the Dynasty Agent Resources page where I have my cloud stuff. The new listings we have, I want to congratulate and celebrate Adam Wong's new listing here at 8500 Hermosa Drive, San Gabriel. Just down the street, this gorgeous looking home is 1.98 million, nearly 3,000 square feet on a huge 7,500 lot. Talk to him. This area is definitely very desirable. North San Gabriel. I wish him the best of luck. We got 4232 Lind Ave in Arcadia. A little bit southeast Arcadia is for rent, $3,900 per month. For this nice little single family with a cute little green door. I like that green. Henry Liu has a new listing for rent. This is $2,500 for this apartment building. 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, 800 square feet on Fairview. And Angel Lau, she's got a nice little rental here at 117 Chestnut in Glendale. This condominium is $4,500 per month for a 3-bedroom. Pretty large, 1,709 square feet. Kayla Liu, congrats, she's got a nice rental at 2918 Sycamore Lane. This is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 plus square feet, and asking $3,950 per month. Jean Chang has 44617 Camino Gonzalez, Temecula. $728,000 for this lovely single family. It's got 2,261 square feet. It's got 3-car garage, which I am jealous of, and 4 beds plus 3 baths. I do see you here, Sylvia. You want to pitch your 7931 Caldwell Ave in Whittier?
Sure, thank you so much. Sold this to the sellers 3 years ago. They outgrew it. When I sold it to them, Mark and I, they were pregnant. Now they have 2 little boys and a little girl on the way. So this has great potential. It has enormous types of upgrades. The list is too long. It even has a central AC now. I will be having a broker's caravan there Friday the 13th from 11 to 1. I hope you can come by. This is really in the heart of very close distance to Whittier College and all the prime location of all the restaurants and retail stores there. So thank you for that. Hope you can bring an offer. There is one coming in and one promised, but those are phantom offers right now. Come by and have the opportunity to be the one to represent the buyer.
All right, congrats on you. And Andy Fu has a new listing for rent in Rosemead on 81843 Delta Avenue, 3,300 per month for this 3-bedroom, 2-bath end unit. And our closers, congratulations, Sally Wu. She closed 12828 Ramona Boulevard in Baldwin Park. Wow, good deal. 550,000 for this 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Meng Lee, congrats to him. 20219 Tillman Ave in Carson. Gorgeous front door. I love that one. And looks like a modernized home. 2,000 plus square feet, sold at 988,000. Amy has closed at 2106 Cedar Street, Alhambra. This condo sold at 725,000. Good deal. And Amy and Nancy leased out 11899 Mount Cambridge Court. This is Rancho Cucamonga, 3,200, and I love that big driveway. Esther, she got this one leased out, 8112 Fern Ave in Rosemead, leased for a 2-bedroom for $2,380 per month. And I guess the front house or the neighboring parcel, 8114 Fern Ave in Rosemead, so leased out for $3,200 per month for a 3-bedroom. And on this little 1-bedroom, 1-bath studio, detached, it looks like it got 8116 Fern, leased out 1980. Yikes, 450 square feet for 1980. Guys, that's $4 a square foot. Good job to her. 252 First Ave in Chula Vista. This is at 835,000 square feet. Sales price closing in Chula Vista. And yeah, you can do properties near San Diego. You can sell in Northern California. Esther works hard wherever her client needs to go. She can do the business. You guys can do it too if you want to. You don't have to limit yourself to San Gabriel Valley. Anis got this property leased out at 8927 Monterey Street, Alhambra, 1,500 plus square feet, leased 3,200 per month. And Abraham Sulistio got this closing done yesterday, 10419 Valley View Ave, Whittier. I want to congratulate Abraham. He just joined us office about 2.5 months ago, had a buyer. Boom, he already got his first sale within several months of obtaining his license and joining our firm. So good job to our new licensee, and a very, very awesome, good dude. He also has a full-time job working in the police. So he's a 780,000 was this Whittier property. You know, just something on your listing on Sylvia. I mean, if buyers are buying 780,000 for 1,784 square feet in Whittier for a 4-bedroom, maybe consider your pricing on with your own seller. But I don't know this location specifically. Lorena, this is a beautiful, gorgeous home. She closed on this $1.88 million Arcadia single family, 2812 Winthrop Ave, Arcadia, and I'm very, very proud of her to get this one closed smoothly. 825 Sandia Ave, La Puente, 727,000 for this single family home, 3 beds for 1,030 square feet. Congrats, Grace Hua, for your closing. Anything else coming soon? You want to pitch? Oh, I do see Martin here on the call. Martin, you want to pitch anything and say hello to the group?
Sure. Thank you, Kelvin. It's good to see you guys. Haven't been here for a while. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yep.
I'm in a loud place. So anyway, it's good to see you guys. I've been out of town for a while. Took some time off in August with the family, but I'm kind of getting back into it. So anyway, it's good to see you guys. Don't really have much to pitch. I want to reiterate what Kelvin mentioned earlier, shortly after I joined the call, that interest rates have come down a good amount over the last month or so. We're down, believe it or not, in the high 5s, low 6s. I just quoted someone a 5.875 with no points on a 30-year fixed refinance loan. I haven't been able to do that in a long time.
On
And
a
it's
refinance too. So purchase money should be slightly lower. No?
Potentially, yeah.
High
Yeah.
credit, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. High credit, high down payment. You know how it goes. But yeah, so I quoted that refinance to someone that I had done a purchase loan for last year when they bought their first home in Montclair, and the rate on that loan was like 7.25. And I just quoted them a 5.875 refi. It's going to lower their payment about $650 a month. So they called me back today. I haven't had a chance to talk to them, but they leave me a message. So anyway, there are opportunities out there to, like Kelvin said, you marry the property and you date the rate. So that's always a good thing to share with people when they're hesitant about buying property because they feel the interest rates are too high and the cost to borrow are too high, which is a valid concern. But like he said, rates go up and down all the time, and eventually they will go down, and you can catch it on the dip, refinance, lower your payment, and you keep doing that every time the rate goes down. I've had many past clients that have done that successfully over the years and got a loan in the 6s or 7s, back in 2005, and now their rate is down in the 2s and 3s, and they just refinanced every time they could lower their rate a half a point or a point. So anyway, it's a great way to manage cash flow. So anyway, that's it for now.
Awesome. No, good to hear from you. Good to see you back and back in action. Hey, leave when the rates are high and slow, and come back when the things are going to start to pick up. That's some optimism, some great conversations for you to go ahead and call your buyers. Let's get back into the shopping mode, guys. Let's refinance. Let's make and manage our finances better. If you need reasons to call your clients, there's a lot of reasons right now to call your clients, get them to re-engage with your services and show them property, or get their property on the market to sell. And while rates improve, hopefully prices should improve as well for the sellers. All right, guys, that's the end of this.